Hey fellow vault dwellers, it's Angry Turtle, and today I have for you a build. The first build for the raid runs, the Gleaming Depths. It was heavily requested how you can get prepared, so I'm publishing it before the raids go live. Soon, early December, most likely 3rd of December. We'll see if that date will be confirmed. As well, I'm working on the compiled guide, a complete guide for the raid, starting with the build today. What and why is in here. It may be a little bit longer video. I will try to explain my choices in regards to the raid, as this build is tailored for the raid. So power armor reboot. As you know, in the raid, if you die, you're dead. There is no reviving, there is no use of life-saving armor and so on, it doesn't work. So, power armor reboot is the one thing that works, as this perk refills your health whenever it hits 0 without going through the death animation. So, it will top up your health whenever it touches 0 if you roll the dice with this 40% chance. Funky that's extra poison resist. On top of other poison resist I have, it allows me to keep my character at around 400 poison resist, which is very good for the final boss, stage 5, that is using a very heavy poison damage, so the snake. From my experience, at least 400 poison resist is needed to significantly reduce this damage. Then we have taking one for the team to increase our DPS, and we will be on the team. It's pretty much required to complete the raid, almost impossible to complete it solo. I'm saying almost impossible, as I bet someone will do it, but definitely not recommended. Then, on top of that, 15 extra special. It doesn't really matter which one you choose, as long as you balance it out to have everywhere the same as I do if you want to copy the build. So what we have under special, with those added bonuses, 13 strength, 3 perception, 13 endurance, 7 charisma, 10 intelligence, 10 agility, 15 luck. And now, the choices. Blocker. So there is a lot of melee attacks in the raid happening. Blocker is a must. Then we have Pain Train rank 1. This helps a lot as you need to move around in your power armor, run, collect stuff, and so on. It helps you pass enemies, that one thing. The second, it can stagger, which is extremely helpful with enemies that cannot be killed, crowd controlled, or anything else, and kill you with one hit. You know, the mole miners, the ultra genetic mole miners, the nightmare. So they can get staggered, at least currently. I don't know if that will always be the case. For now, they can be staggered. Even if they change that in the future, Pain Train will let you move faster because you are not getting so many collisions with enemies. From my experience, it helps running through hordes of enemies. Then all the heavy gunner perks, damage is very important, and we cannot really go blooded here. So you notice I'm full health. You could, but the risk is not worth it from my experience. You are risking that you will die and your DPS will drop to 0, and your teammates need to do without you as there is no revive whatsoever. The only option to revive is to restart the stage, nothing else. Concentrated fire, VATS, extremely important in the raid. Sometimes you cannot really avoid using it if you really want to do high damage. Examples, the turret, if you want to hit its shields and it's facing you, only VATS can reach behind. Or the snake, its weak spot is the eye. Very small weak spot that's incredibly hard to hit without using VATS. Relatively easily with VATS, like everything easy to hit with VATS. So concentrated fire, max out. Endurance, we have here more health, so tankiness super important, 13 endurance, more health, more resistances, more elemental resistances, more action points, bullet shield, yes. Amazing perk now, reflecting bullets back on enemies helps to not only become more tanky, but as well increase your DPS as those bullets now hit hard. So good. Fireproof for extra tankiness. and star genes to keep our mutations. Then we have Charisma, Field Surgeon, so our stims will kick in so much faster. Again, we don't want to risk death at all. Strength in numbers to boost our mutations. Team Medic, and this is being shared. If you can share higher rank, even better, because if your teammates do die, the same story, they cannot get revived and you are basically on your own trying to complete it or restarting the stage, so keep everyone alive, that's very important. And Tenderizer, increasing the damage. After that, we have Intelligence with First Aid, Survival, Power User, as we'll be using VATS in Power Armor, so that helps us with Fusion Cores. Stabilized, to increase our armor piercing ability with heavy guns. Batches included, to carry those heavy Fusion and Plasma cores. Scrapper, because I had one per card left. You could really go with 9 Intelligence and it would be fine too. Agility. Action Void for faster AP regeneration. Helps a little bit. Born Survivor. Max out. We don't want to wait for the last second for it to trigger. A little bit of server lag and we are dead, so max out. We want it to trigger early. Adrenaline only rank 1. You may ask why. The reason is there is barely any opportunity to stack it in the raid. If you fight the boss, there is only one enemy. The turret is one enemy. On stage 3, you could stack a little bit on Reaper bots, but that's like occasional opportunity. On stage 4, you don't really use damage. So basically only stage 3 that you could have used, and there is a little bit of use. So rank 1 is justified. And then we have Doji max out for tankiness one more time. You could unequip the Doji if you are running for canisters on stage 2 and then re-equip it after. Action points are important there. You need to be sprinting and time does matter. So this card can be unequipped for stage 2 and that's about it. All other stages you want it on. Then luck. The most important of them all, because VATS is where the power lies now with the heavy gunner. So better criticals for more damage. Ricochet, more damage and tankiness. 4-leaf clover. This purely more damage and hit chance will charge criticals on the miss. Class Freak, as we do have multiple mutations. Critical Savvy, to get our crit every second shot. Junk Shield, yes, it's amazing now. Just carry 100 pieces of any type of junk. Vault Steel is a good choice, or those scrap kits. I mean, not scrap kits, those supply kits that are light and don't auto-scrap. Lastly, good with salt. Yes, food bonuses are important. The raid is hard. Use them to your advantage. My freezer is not big enough to keep them all in, so I do have good with salt. Alternatively, if you feel like you can go without it, Bloody Mess would be very fitting in here. So either good with salt or Bloody Mess. I do need good with salt. Now, the mutations and the gear. So mutations actually didn't change. It's the standard for the mutations I always have. Adrenal Reaction for damage, Bird Bones for agility and fall speed, Carnivore for amazing food buffs, Eagle Eyes for more damage, Herd Mentality for more special. It's negative now because I'm solo recording that. Marsupial for higher jumping, Scully Skin for resistances, Speed Demon for speed, especially reload speed, and Twisted Muscle for melee damage that I'm not using here, but the gun accuracy penalty does not apply to that, so I don't need to remove it. Normally you don't need it, like for raid alone, that's not needed, but I don't want to get rid of it because there is like no penalty to have it, and when I will like to go back to using auto axe, for example when enemies can only be killed with melee, I don't need to change my mutations. That's why I don't worry about Twisted Muscle. Now the gear. So for the weapons, we have those Nuka mines that just a backup. I don't really use them much, but if I would struggle taking down those repair bots, I will consider to use them if I have, let's say, only one teammate. And we need to spread out somehow the damage. So then nuka mines can be used, not necessary. After that, Gatling Plasma, that's a main weapon. Anti-armor Gatling Plasma with weapon speed and reduction to action point cost. And don't look at the 4-star. I have them as I was testing it. Of course, we'll all go into raid without the 4-star. So there is one, it's not necessary. It will be nice when we all unlock them. For this moment, we are not commenting on 4-star. Time will give us them, but not necessary to start doing raids, obviously. Ultrasight laser rifle, this one is used for stage 3 when we need to destroy crystals very fast at crystal destruction. Sight, you can heal your friendlies as it's medic. So that's what I'm using. Any other multi-projectile weapon like a shotgun would be really good for destruction of crystals. The thing is, we don't want any spin up and we want to kill those crystals really fast when enemies are next to them, as that's the only way to get rid of enemies. Any delay is not welcome, that's why a special different weapon that's not even a heavy gun. But heavy guns would do too, like LMG fire fast enough that you could use it. There is a lot of options. Not the most important, the important thing is firing fast multiple projectiles. Shredder minigun, and you know what this is for. Stage 2, ultra genetic mole miners that nothing can be done about them, but they can be staggered with the Gauss minigun. Hopefully it will stay like that. On the life of public test server, Bethesda tinkers with them a lot, making them harder and harder. Currently, they can be partially countered with the stagger. Of course, the stagger can only trigger once, and then they are immune for 10 seconds from triggering stagger again, so keep that in mind. And that is all. I have Peppa Shaker on me, I'm not using in raid, so basically Gatling Plasma and Shredder Mini, those are two main weapons. Now about the armor, we are using power armor. So for the stage 1, it's a troubleshooter set with extra luck. And yes, I have food, drink and camp weight reduction on all the pieces of my power armor. Both sets with this effect. Therefore, I don't need perks for that. It was extremely important for me. And I went with that. I prepared this set. If you choose not to, you either carry less of the chems and aid, or you use the perk. Up to you what you choose. You can incorporate Trawling Pharmacy by reducing heavy gunner perks. So it will work. I do have that on my power armor. Every piece is exactly the same. The reason for luck on all those pieces is not only to get critical every other shot, but improve my ricochet, so side effects improving my damage on the turret, the first enemy. So all the pieces the same, legs for carry weight. Then important, we have emergency protocols on the torso, just in case I would drop really low and then my defense will increase even more. Alternatively, you could consider in here the torso mod, that's medics, that will just provide even more stim packs to you. It's an option, as we are full health anyway. With emergency protocols, I can kind of try and go semi-bloodied on the turret to increase my damage, as full troubleshooters with emergency protocols offer really good resistance. And it is Union for the carry weight purposes. Then main raid set. Main raid power armor that I use for most cases. Mostly overeaters with one exception. So one piece is auto stim with poison resist. Additional 25 poison resist on top of the set poison resist. As well through hikers, so extra food, drink and chem weight reduction. It's called through hikers, but really it's Trawling Pharmacy and through hikers in one. So that's a full set. Then other pieces are overeaters with luck. We need 4 pieces with luck to combine it with one food product increasing luck to achieve 33 luck and criticals every other shot. I do have as well 4-star installed. I will not have it on the live game when it will release until I unlock it. That will take quite a while to do so. Of course, mods, calibrated shocks. We have a jetpack for a torso. And very important, about helmet, we have recon sensors. If in the future Bethesda boosts even further all those ultra genetic mole miners, the recon sensors will be last thing that can still help us. So basically what it does, if I aim any weapon with this helmet equipped and this ultra genetic mole miner, it will have a special tag on my compass regardless where it is, which will be consistently tracked. So I tag them all and at least I know where they are. So that helps a lot. If you can avoid them, that helps a lot. So recon sensor is very important for stage 2. And there is not really any other useful mod for the head that I could use. So recon sensors, very good, very important. And about regular armor, will not be running in regular armor, so power armor only. Underneath I do have my regular armor, that's a set of civil engineer as well through hikers, but I'm not using it. I'm not using it. So it's just underneath. As you know, when you are running power armor, your backpack and everything else is disabled, doesn't work at all. So that is everything I have ready, and I tested this build, truly tested it a lot, and have a great success running raids with that. Now, important food and drink. So stockpile on coffee, so you can sustain VATS with reduction to AP cost for heavy guns. I just need 10 coffee to run my heavy gun for 30 seconds in VATS, so great. Other common food that I'm using, company tea for AP regen, soft shell, cooked soft shell for higher AP pool, meatball grinder or hot dog, depend what I have access to for more tankiness, more total health. Total health is the best in raid to increase your tankiness, and not all the damage sources you can avoid, so if you need to tank it, it's better if you have more health. Then Radroach on a stick that you can buy at Nuka Wharton Tour, it's cheap. Boost agility, therefore it boosts amount of action points I have again. Pemmican, boost my endurance, and you know, now endurance scales with a lot of perks, so boosts my stats overall, including health and everything else. Seared venison with berries, a good stockpile prepared beforehand is awesome as it lasts for quite a bit. It's 1 hour 30 minutes buff, relatively easy to craft. It can be purchased from ally at your camp, from the chef ally, and it boosts your luck. That's what we need to get 33 luck easily in power armor. So just consistently running that 1 hour 30 minute duration is solid. And I have those smoked Mylok filet for my carry weight purposes, not really combat efficiency. Huge stockpile of super stims. Don't worry about them too much. The rate is actually dropping a lot of super stims, so you should be good. After you practice a little and you will be able to run it, you will be good. Psycho buff is the best chem that you can use. It increases both your tankiness and your damage output. So for the final boss, I'm using that. For other bosses, I am not. For final boss, I am running Psycho buff. And that will conclude everything you need to know about this build. So this is everything fine-tuned for the raid. Everything has a purpose. I was working on it for a long time, and I think it ended up great. Let me know what you think. Are you hyped for the raid? As I am. So thank you a lot for watching, and see you all in the next one.